One of the most convenient features on the iPhone might finally stop being an iPhone-only experience. Imagine sending a photo, video, or document from your Android phone directly to an Apple device almost instantly. No cables, no third-party apps, no complicated setup. That's exactly what's about to happen, because another major Android brand is now bringing AirDrop-style sharing to its phones. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. For years, sharing files between Android and Apple devices has been weirdly frustrating. If both people have iPhones, AirDrop makes it ridiculously easy. Open the Share menu, tap a name, and the file is there in seconds. But if one person has Android and the other has an iPhone, things suddenly get messy. You end up sending files through messaging apps, email, cloud storage, or installing random third-party apps just to move a simple photo. That gap between Android and Apple has always been one of the biggest everyday annoyances in the smartphone world, and now Android companies are finally starting to fix it. Recently, Google introduced a major improvement to its Quick Share system, the feature Android phones use to transfer files wirelessly. The big change is that Quick Share can now work with Apple's AirDrop ecosystem. In simple terms, Android phones can begin communicating directly with Apple devices for file transfers. At first, this feature was limited to Google's newest Pixel devices. The Pixel 10 series launched with the capability, and shortly after that, it expanded to the Pixel 9 lineup as well, including the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But the bigger story is what's happening next. Oppo has now confirmed that its smartphones will also support this cross-platform file sharing feature. Specifically, the upcoming Oppo Find X9 series will gain the ability to send files to Apple devices using AirDrop through an updated version of QuickShare. According to the company, the feature will arrive through a software update expected by the end of the month. That means users won't need to buy a new phone just to use it. If they already own a compatible device in the Find X9 lineup, the capability should arrive automatically once the update rolls out. Oppo also mentioned that this feature wasn't developed alone. The company worked closely with both Google and MediaTek to make the updated QuickShare system function properly on its devices. That collaboration is important because cross-platform compatibility like this requires deep integration between software and hardware. The result is something that could make everyday phone use much simpler. With the update installed, users will be able to send files directly between Oppo smartphones and Apple devices running iOS, iPadOS, or macOS. And the best part is that it won't require downloading any third-party apps. Everything will work directly through the built-in sharing system. That means if you take a photo on your Oppo phone and want to send it to someone using an iPhone or a Mac, you can do it almost instantly, similar to how AirDrop works today within Apple's ecosystem. This might sound like a small change, but it actually represents a huge shift in how smartphones interact. For years, Apple and Android ecosystems have been mostly isolated from each other. Features like messaging, file sharing, and device connectivity often worked best only within the same platform. But that wall is slowly starting to come down. And Oppo is probably just the beginning. Google has already said that it's working with more Android partners to bring the new QuickShare capability to additional devices. There have even been rumors that other major manufacturers, including Samsung, might eventually add the feature through software updates. If that happens, it could dramatically change how people share files across different devices. Think about it. Millions of people use Android phones while their friends, family, or coworkers use iPhones. In those situations, sending files has always required some kind of workaround. A system that works seamlessly between both platforms would remove that friction completely. But there is still one important question. Will this feature reach older phones? Right now, most of the announcements focus on the newest flagship devices. That's great for people buying the latest models, but the reality is that most users keep their phones for several years. A lot of people are using mid-range phones or older flagship models that are still perfectly capable. So ideally, this update shouldn't be limited only to the newest hardware. If Google was able to expand the feature from the Pixel 10 to the Pixel 9 series, there's a good chance it could eventually reach other older devices as well. And if manufacturers decide to roll it out widely, we might finally reach a point where sharing files between Android and Apple devices is just as easy as sharing them within the same platform. That would remove one of the last everyday annoyances in the smartphone world. And honestly, it's something that probably should have happened years ago, but at least now, it finally looks like it's happening. And if more Android brands follow Oppo's lead, the days of struggling to send files between Android and iPhone might soon be over. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.